Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris here, and I wanted to give you a review of the Hallmark Death Star Christmas tree topper, which is a completely overblown and outlandish thing to have on your Christmas tree. So, why wouldn't you do it, right? It's an amazing thing, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. So, we picked that up at Hallmark recently because we needed a new tree topper, and so I wanted to just sort of offer my thoughts on it because it's not necessarily a cheap thing, right? I mean, you see it in the store and you see the price tag, and it's sort of like, oh, that hurts. Like, that's not, affordable. It's just a little more pricey, I think, than some people might be willing to jump in with initially. But if you have younger children, you're a big Star Wars fan, it is kind of a cool thing to think about. So let's dive into it and take a look at it. Hey, as always, if you're enjoying the channel, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Please be sure to also subscribe. We're working towards 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal for 2023. So I appreciate your viewership and your support, and let's get into it. Okay, so this is our Christmas tree in our living room. It's an artificial tree, but we picked it up this year because we just got sick of cleaning up all the little, needles, nettles, things that come off of a real tree, even though the smell obviously isn't the same. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the tree. We're here to talk about this sucker, the Death Star Christmas tree topper from Hallmark, which is hysterical. So we went to Hallmark to try and get a new topper for our tree because our old one was kind of worn out. Me and my kids kept walking by this one and sort of longingly looking at it, and my wife eventually sort of said, "Is that the one you guys really want? Is that what you really want on the tree?" So she caved. We got this one, and it's kind of amazing. So one thing I'll say about this, it is pretty heavy, right? So I mean, you can see this works because we have an artificial tree, but I'm going to kind of get a little bit closer. It comes with these Velcro bands and a rod that goes sort of underneath it to help you affix it to a tree, but I had to basically group together a cluster of the sort of top tree branches to get it to stay up there, because when I tried to put it on there without doing that, it just completely leaned outward in not a great looking fashion. So I had to make it as sturdy as I could and then sort of go from there. You also have to buy the Hallmark signature power cord, which connects to different Star Wars ornaments in this particular setup. So you can see, for example, we got the Han and Chewie ornament, and I'll show you how that works and how it all sort of comes together. But one cool thing about this too, and I'm going to get this so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, is that you get a remote control that looks like a lightsaber, which is funny. But ever since we've gotten this set up and hooked up to our tree, the kids have played it nonstop. And I've heard the Star Wars intro theme multiple times throughout the day, and I don't mind that at all. But let me just show you how this works. So again, on this remote control, you've got a little red button for the lightsaber. So you push it, and here's what happens. So of course, it's just gonna keep playing the song. I'm gonna stop it. Maybe. If I can stop it. Okay, there we go. It keeps playing the song, and it plays the entire song. It's actually kind of shocking how long this goes on when you've got it playing. And so, yeah, it's really a cool thing if you're a Star Wars fan. Yeah, it's a little bit tacky, it's a little bit gaudy and over the top, but we also have, things like a Nintendo, Super Nintendo ornament on here as well, which let me just show you this really quickly, because if you haven't seen it, it's kind of amazing. Totally nothing to do with the Death Star, but I just love that when I saw it at Hallmark, and of course wanted to get it, and the kids were totally behind me on that. I don't know how thrilled my wife Erica was about that, but still, it gives our tree a little bit of flair, and it's a really cool thing. But let me show you now what happens if you push the button on the Han Solo ornament. So again, these are connected, and this Death Star ornament will not work without this special Hallmark power cord. So that's just something you have to know going into the whole thing. But here's what happens if you push the button on the Han Solo ornament. So again, it's gonna play this, and I'm gonna speed things up just to kind of get through this, and you can see what's happening.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system. You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's a ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs.
I think it is time we demonstrated the full power of this station. Set your course for Alderaan.
So this just keeps going, right? I mean, if you have one of these Star Wars ornaments, it kind of goes back and forth between the Death Star and the ornament, and it almost plays out like, I'm not going to say the entire movie because obviously it does not do that, but it plays out a good bit of it with the dialogue and everything. And so it's a really interactive, really kind of awesome setup, especially if you're a big Star Wars fan like we are. So yes, it's kind of expensive. I think the tree topper was like 140 bucks ish, something like that. So definitely not cheap, but it's something that you're going to love and use, especially if you have younger kids over the next few years as you go through different holidays and Christmases and that kind of stuff. So definitely worth it. And I think the actual individual Star Wars ornaments are super cool and totally worth investing in also. So we obviously got the Death Star this year and then the Solo and Chewie ornament. I think next year we'll get either Luke or Vader or something, and there's a number of them that you can collect because Hallmark is super smart and they know that, late 30, early 40 something parents like myself are going to want to invest in this kind of stuff. But anyway, super cool. We really enjoy it. So anyway, that's my review of the Death Star Christmas tree topper. It's a little bit outlandish, a little bit crazy, but as a big Star Wars fan and especially as someone who has younger children, we've really had a lot of fun with it. Anyway, if you've seen this in a store or you have any experience with it, let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.